Welcome back again, my friends. We are here with the podcast for episode 3 Destiny Arrives at Riverwood. We have found that some places are not the end of a journey, but the threshold to a far greater one. And in this episode, our friends have stepped out from the wilds and into the widening arms of destiny. After sharing a quiet night at Captain Heimdall's camp, stories flickering with the firelight, shadows revealing more about forbidden magic than anyone expected, the party arises with a clearer understanding of the dangers that follow them and the bonds that now protect them. Heimdall leads the way onward to a relic older than any map, a waystone. Two monumental stones intertwined with roots of an ancient tree, its ruins shimmer, humming with dormant power, and in a single breath of bending light, the world shifts beneath their feet. They arrive at Riverwood, a riverside village equal parts weary and wondrous. Its crooked docks and lantern lit bridges whisper of quiet magic beneath the surface. Curious shops line its winding path, including the ever spoken of and mysterious Rat Man with his cheese shop, a local marvel, equal parts awe and humor. Riverwood holds something far more important, though. And that is what we'll get into today in our podcast as we break down the arrival at Riverwood and the camp from the end of the travels. Welcome in, guys and gals from home and wherever you are no longer alone because you are joining the Spells and Scepters family here today. Our journey in the podcast continues with featured guest Eric Savage and featured guest Get Off My Cloud. Welcome in, guys.
Thanks for having us, brother.
Well, I would be no more humored by anyone else in the world than to hear how your tales went for this episode. If you would like to lead us on the way, Savage, your breakdown of everything that we didn't cover in the last episode, I guess.
What was it? We were
Well,
heading towards Father Thalius, right?
yeah, and then you'd have the camp night though. The
Oh yeah.
I have a
Well,
couple
it was
notes on
essentially what we. I was gonna say we pulled up to the camp. What I wanted to do was check if the food was poisoned for some reason, like innately, but then everyone was eating the same thing, and everyone was okay. So that immediately went off my head, and then uh, essentially wanted to intimidate more, a little bit more. Uh, Heimdall for just a bit. That was before he told us about Father Thalius
it.
and everything else. But just doing my first shadow step of the entire series was like just shadow stepping right next to him, completely forgetting that me and Jimbo are still attached.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And it wasn't like, "Hey, give me all your secrets." It was just basically like, "Hey, you have any water?"
Yeah, which was a pretty interesting part of the survival mechanics. We didn't really fear as much going
Mm-hmm.
into the forest. It was like it was being taken care of for you.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. But yeah, now you guys all have cantinas, so that was a good interaction.
Yeah.
One of my notes from the campfire interactions is the little wooden sword that you had carved
Ah, yep.
and then given to Heimdall. I thought that was a cool moment. We'll definitely get into Heimdall's past in future episodes for sure. We'll see him again,
Mhm.
but for now, all you would need to know is that uh, because he was working with the Legion, it was assumed that this year, this this recruit roundup, he would not be bringing a team. For some for some reason or another, everyone assumed he was not going to be showing up this year. Maybe it was for this the legion that he was doing work for. Um, we don't know, but it would
Mhm.
just be assumed that he wouldn't have shown up. But yeah, it leaves some introspection. You guys might not have been the first group that he's led, as he mentioned right before you guys got up the hill. Um, and that it almost seems like fate had brought you guys together, and then he's questioning whether it brought you guys together for him to lead you or for you to be led by him. He's wondering if like you guys were the only people that needed his help or if you guys were the only people that he could help.
Mm.
Very interesting. That's why I thought the giving him the sword was such a cool interaction because you guys are still so in the dark about like Heimdall and the whole process, and you couldn't have chose like a better person to be like, yeah, this interaction will come in handy later. So that would have been good.
That's what's up.
I thought that was just a cool story bonding moment. Yeah, so the campfire, you guys got rations, cantinas. You had exchanged the token with him, giving him the small wooden carved sword, and I don't know if I don't have anything else down over here. I don't know if anything other major happened that night besides a couple pieces of information was given out. Um, Wax was given the cheese voucher.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think that's maybe all the major events that would have happened at the campfire that night. Other than of course Heimdall revealing that he's basically like a stand-in captain, and we get the sense that like if the other people could do anything about that, they would have. Um, oh, and uh, watching it back, it was really cool because there was something I misspoke on, but it's really cool now, leaving it in as it being part of the lore. Heimdall contradicts himself, and one of the Yosef, the orc who like chimes in, kind of says something about it as well, saying that basically he got lucky and that it's almost over with anyways. Uh, but Heimdall says that he is essentially, when you guys first meet him, he essentially says he's looking for something, yada, yada, yada. And at the camp, he tells you guys that now he has to, while all the other soldiers are around, keep in mind, he tells you guys that they're basically trying to get back to the forge to um, tell the forge what has happened to their captain. So we get this
Mhm.
weird contradiction as if maybe Heimdall wasn't leading them the correct way. Maybe he was telling them,
Mm.
"Hey, we're heading back," and they were all lost, and so they just reluctantly decided to follow him. We don't know exactly why he's the fill-in captain, um, but we know that they're reluctant, and we know that his story changes when they're around, and he contradicts himself, saying that they're heading back to the forge to tell him what's happened.
Mhm. 'Cause then I also wanted to see if the which I know you might tell me, might not, is the Wisp the captain that he's looking for?
Oh,
About that.
you guys didn't investigate the body though.
You're right. But it says this, it looked like it looked like an adventurer, or it looked like someone who had perished from its travels. That's why I assumed it'd be like, uh, a adventurer who was by themselves or something like that.
Knowing what I know about Heimdall's mentor or the captain of this troop, uh, I would say that it is very possible that because of his personality of making sure no soldier was left behind, making sure the little soldiers were basically at the front to be surrounded by the bigger soldiers, that type of mentality, I would say that he definitely could become a wisp. It would be entirely possible. if he perished and he knew there was adventures around that were, once he had perished, he'd become this ethereal ghost that's like getting the choice to pass on. If there was something pulling at him, telling him that he needs to stay here for something else, I fully could see him becoming a wisp to try and maybe guide his troops back home.
Hmm.
But I'm not gonna confirm or deny it. That'll just stay as a open-aired theory for now.
Okay.
It also, you
Alright.
gotta keep in mind, it would take someone of very, very, like, unique spirit to create a blue wisp. That's why they're blue, is because they're so individually rare. Like, it's someone that, like, a normal lantern wisp, and this is actually pretty cool because, like I said, we gotta go in and make some lore connections between, like, the curses and a curse becoming the curse, like a cursed item becoming the creature a curse. Uh, we got to make some connections there. But the wisp, I actually love wisps. I don't know if you guys know that. It's one of my favorite like fantasy tropes. There's like a little ghost that's like floating around. It's a pretty common in D&D. Um and The, sorry. The, most common one is the Wisp Ghast, which, reminds me a lot of the Minecraft Ghast, and it's called a Wisp Ghast. It's the most common one from actual D&D, and, because of that, I have inspired one. So we have the Lantern Wisp, which is essentially a wisp that is housing inside of a lantern that has a case, and the flame would be protected from all sides. But if it was in a broken structure, or maybe clinging onto a torch, or maybe the flame inside of a jack-o'-lantern, it would eventually become a wisp rot, which is literally a decaying and ethereal falling apart gas or a wisp, because it is equal parts, and it is much closer to the ecology and the stat layouts of the gas wisp from D&D, but it is the
Mhm.
wisp rot in our game. These are called lantern wisps and are a defined individual spirit, like basically wanting other travelers to keep on going. And there is the blue version, which is a even stronger spirit. I would say that just because I'm the one that's creating it, I guess I could add this in and say I would say that a blue wisp would mean that someone with the potential to awaken, someone that had very good knowledge of magic would only be able to become a blue wisp.
Mm.
Because keep in mind what their nature is. Their nature is being automatically focused, channeled to be able to reveal and dispel things with just like light, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say it's a pretty powerful aura. Sorry to tangent there about wisp ecology. I did say pause,
No,
stay
you're
with me
good.
now because I love wisp, but yeah, they're pretty cool. Um, and I think that you could also have like what's the difference between like a wisp rot or a lantern wisp and the the void wisp, which is essentially just what its stat block would look like if it were in its ethereal form, not attached to anything, and it just has like
Mhm.
slashing and kind of space ghost powers. Essentially, it's called the Void Wisp. But one really cool
Yeah.
thing is, since I don't think that Shadow Lexicon would tame creatures, they would probably like imprison them like Pokemon poachers. I think that we could take any single wisp that we have or any ecology of them and combined it together with other items by making this imprisoned wisp or the void wisp, but basically labeling it as an imprisoned curse. And that could be how they evolve into curses. Um, I don't know. That's just something to throw out there as a theory while we're theorizing on whether this wisp was that captain or not. Another theory to throw on the table.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Cloud, you want to weigh in on any of the convo there?
Is he talking?
I didn't hear him. No.
No, I didn't hear him.
Yeah.
Out of my head, I was like, huh? What'd I do?
Hello?
What's
Welcome
up, my
in.
brother?
We're just dealing with some technical difficulties. The thing there died. We're just dealing with like charging and whatnot. All is probably. Yeah, no, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep. We can't hear you.
Yeah, no, that sounds really cool dealing with like the wisps and like what they may entail or whatnot. I think it's really fun how we went for the blue wisp because I feel like that's probably like the most dangerous one. You know,
Yeah.
like that one seems kind of scary.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just really wanted to. I knew Savage was gonna start shadow stepping, and I just wanted to make so this thing could reveal the fact that Shadow has or that Vero has shadow stepped. Just like Detect Magic could reveal that Shadow Stepped was cast there. This lantern could essentially show you that people have done that.
Yeah,
But
so
with
that should work
but it
pretty
only works with
goddamn
stuff
good.
that's trying to be covered up essentially.
Okay.
So you already have to have a clue that something's there being covered up. You can't just be like lantern search and it searches. You have to already have a clue that something's there that you need to use the lantern. And that's where looking behind the veil or regular detect magic will come in handy. So you need a physical identifier, and then this thing is basically the highlighter. It'll reveal whatever's being hidden.
Okay.
So it is pretty powerful in the nature that it's basically an automatic decipher. Um, which frees you guys up. Nobody has to worry about fucking deciphering and shit and keep unfocused while battles are
Yeah,
going.
for
You
real.
guys can just have the lantern do it. Uh, it turned out much better than I
Ooh,
originally envisioned it. Did you did you even think that thought that Vero just put out there that maybe the lantern is the captain they're looking for?
put some thought into that, but you were kind of implying that that could be like Heimdall, but maybe the true Heimdall.
What?
Hmm?
Unless I got that like
What? Yeah, what
way
the
off.
fuck? Hold on, pause that theory. Rewind
Hmm?
that back.
Wait.
Fucking VHS recorders. What? Catch us up on that theory, Cloud.
Well, it's seeming like this Heimdall has been like really fucking suspicious. And you're saying that he could be one of the souls inside of one of the lanterns as a wisp. So perhaps he could be caught in one. But
No,
I'm really not
so
sure, though.
Heimdall's
I
just the
really don't know
fill-in
right.
captain because the captain's missing.
So, like, the captain or whatnot could be Wisp. And that could be what we're looking for.
That's what Savage said.
Also does not seem right.
It
There's something fishy about this.
does seem a little fishy. It's a loose theory for sure. I did not neither confirm nor deny it. I just said it is possible.
Either way, if Jimbo was on his way and he decided to cast Ward to make sure that That was all right. I would like to think that Jimbo's got the intuition to him to know that that's a pretty good dude, or at least not a bad guy. You know,
That's fair, but then why is his
could
intuition
be
so
wrong.
wrong about Heimdall?
Mm.
Still pretty
His
inherently
intuition
think
would be
Heimdall's a bad guy.
100% right, though, had this been any other Legion soldier. Had this just been your run-of-the-mill soldier walking down the road, your intuition to scatter into the woods would have probably been for the best. But had this been any other Legion soldier, you also would have not got led to Father Talius.
True.
Oh yeah, this is totally a trap.
Without Heimdall being here, Savage only having one actual spell slot remaining, you have been very weakened on spells as well. You guys could have been messed up pretty easily by a regular patrol of anybody. Legion, bandits, whoever Vero was talking about in the last podcast. Those different various magical cults.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we also have very little. We don't know a whole lot about illusion man
And what do you
or
guys
anything like
know
that.
about Full Metal Alchemist, though?
Oh yeah, Savage. Do you know anything about FMA?
Yeah. It's the law of equivalent exchange.
Well, let's just say that all people should be wary about how strong their magic is. Not just knowing strong magic, but how strong their magic is. Because the stronger your magic is, the more your tale becomes regaled, the more people know about your magic. And knowledge is power. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I will definitely just say that Savage was pretty on the nose about some of these magical groups. Um, and some of these people would 100% be grabbing people up just for their magical power, like just to make philosopher's stones. And the more,
Oh, does that
but
mean
like
I'm gonna have to be a bad guy?
a regular person won't do it though. You need someone that has magic. So if you were to have been caught out here by bandits and they were to have been able to see you had magic, they could have sold you. If you were to have been caught by one of these groups of cultists, who knows what could happen? And if you were to have been caught by any other legion, you guys could have definitely ended up at the forge.
Oof.
So running into Heimdall was literally a stroke of fate, as he wasn't even supposed to be finding recruits this year. It was heavily implied that he wouldn't have been here this year for some reason.
Oh man, don't make some evil shit happen.
No, I'm saying that meeting Heimdall was like a very, very fortunate thing. Like I'm saying that your intuition would have been right if it was anyone else. Was just to recap and reconfirm what we were discussing there. Your intuition, you said your intuition is good, and I said why was it wrong about Heimdall, and then I went on to explain had it been anyone besides Heimdall, your intuition would have actually been correct. And that's why as it got darker and darker, Heimdall stopped acting less and less scared and started taking more and more charge. He was like, "Look, we got it. We got to go." You know, he's like, "Come on." He's like, "Just follow me to my camp." And then you guys ate, got
A little sketchy, but he seems like a pretty good dude. Probably.
And this could be further supported upon the fact that like Heimdall had almost like no interest in he just wanted to protect you. In the original scenario, you guys are about to engage with the Wisp. Uh the Falcon is seen, um, and he's kind of over there slouching. He jumps in only to protect so that Solaris doesn't make contact with the Wisp. Uh, and he continues to only be like giving you these warnings up until the fact that Jimbo jumps in front of him and casts Ward. As soon as this guy sees that you guys can do magic, he sees the cold spots that have been frost burned into your hands by a cursed item, and he tries to make that offer to help you guys by deactivating the item. And then once he realizes how weary you guys are, the sun setting, how new to this area you guys might seem as you're just like basically revealing that you have magic. Um, yeah. Definitely confirms the continuity of Heimdall trying to get you guys out of that area because something bad could happen to people with magic at night here if they ran into the wrong people. Think about it. How was Solaris's pixie friend hexed?
She touched a bush, right?
That's what we keep saying, but I have not confirmed that. Why would a pixie be in this forest that was so far away?
Oh.
Well, man, I can't confirm on why they were happy, but I can say that the sunflower, I know none of us have got the name right quite yet,
The sun
Some
petal
flower
petal.
bloom.
that she was looking for was the remedy that had.
And would you say that if someone were to set her on the quest to go and get that, it would have got that item, and now presumably that person would have brought that item out of the forest?
Maybe it also could have been a trap if the person who sent her for the item didn't like her.
That's what I'm saying. How do we know that this isn't? How do we know the pixie didn't get set up?
We really don't, man.
We don't.
We
We're
really
just going
don't.
off of what
Not yet.
Solaris knows happens.
Really not sure on that one. All I can say is it seems like something bad was brought upon one of her friends. And the only remedy seemed to be this flower. Or maybe it was the reverse and it was just like a way to turn them into some like monstrosity or some shit. Who knows? I feel like it could have gone either way. It could have been just like total cure all or a turn you into like some sort of or something. Really could have gone either way.
But my point is, if Solaris had been alone, presumably she would have left with that stone. So,
Oh yeah, and that would have like been not very good.
yeah, not very good at all. I'm not confirming anything right now, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, Solaris's adventure only makes sense if you think about there's someone else trying to do something there. Because that pixie couldn't have got to the forest by itself. It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have left this meadow.
Then we gotta save the pixies, huh?
And you guys are also, or maybe you guys aren't, but also another note to be included is we know someone was physically in that meadow. It wasn't just a vision, it wasn't just a dream like the other Mist Veil recipients get. There was someone physically in that meadow that took the food out of her pot and put it in a bowl for her on her table when she got back from the pixies.
Oh, you fuck.
So had
Probably not.
Heimdall not showed up, You guys might have encountered someone much worse.
I'm sure they're both pretty good. No.
Someone who will just say, they couldn't have seen Schnur for the same reason the forest couldn't see Schnur. They couldn't see Cloud because Cloud was under the protection of this moon enchantment that was cast upon him. This mysterious, really powerful moon veil. And they couldn't see Savage. Why? That's the question. Why do Solaris's and Vero's story keep butting heads but on these opposite sides? It all ties together kind of pretty well, I think. But yeah, there's definitely some mystery to be thought about there on as to why this stone would have even been there to have been broken or removed, and to why that the plans wouldn't have incorporated for meeting Vero, Cloud, Schnur, and now Heimdall.
Hmm.
If you guys were to think of a weakness for dark type magic, imagine there was, Vero, you already know. There's the ability to see behind the veil and get this advanced look behind what other people can't see. Could you think of a way that would have a weakness or a counterbalance that could apply to the situation we were just talking about? So obviously, there's enchantments
Hmm.
that could possibly be dispelled with the lantern now,
Yeah.
but there's the enchantments like the one cast on Cloud. And then there's something just weird about Schnur. Like there's some reason the forest couldn't even see her. Like it wasn't even gonna try and choke her, remember? Um it was as if she wasn't there. Her vision was only as if she was hijacking into Cloud's vision. Um and that leaves Vero. Why would it not be able to see Vero? So could you guys think of a weakness that or a counter to that? Let's just call it shadow scry. Some ability to see beyond the veil.
The only thing I can think of is maybe since it's a shadow type of magic, the moon essentially counter hits it because it's a form of light, essentially. Being that
You're
both.
like you're like 90% there. But what is the
That's the only
moon
thing I can
Yeah,
think of.
I was thinking the same thing, man.
what's the moon refracting though?
Could
The
it be
light.
the
The light,
person's soul? Oh, or the light? Yeah.
the sun, more specifically. So shadow scry can lie to you and be or just be wrong in the sense of great presence of light.
Hmm.
That's just all I'll say. That's the end of the hypothetical. That's all I'll say is hypothetically a great source of light would be able to counter the ability to shadow scry. Just like we see the lantern able to do. It's able to reveal the truths. Undo the shadow veil. I like to think about it like if you had a diary, right? And you wanted to magically protect the words that were in that diary. You could do so by putting
Hmm.
like a shadowy veil over it, right? Then
Yeah.
light, a strong enough source of light could come through and break that shadowy veil and show you the text underneath. Just like if you had a light veil, you would be able to scry all the shadows because wherever there's light, it's making darkness. But you would never be able to peer directly through the light with the shadow scry.
Mm.
However, because shadows don't directly balance, I like to think of when you're looking at the light that's being cast, right? This veil, so to speak. It's casting out light that's making shadows. Those shadows represent everything that's not actually in our world, the supernatural and the connection to all those mystical powers. So I think shadow ma- the shadow scry has a lot more things that it can synergize with, which is really weird because light should have the most, but light is predominantly the most powerful. Like if you bring any information into the light, it is seen as revelation and truth. And so I also kind of like how poetic that is.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's how the shadow scry system works.
Okay.
Which you should already know because you can already see behind the veil, so you know that this exists already. And you already
Yeah.
have a shadow sense, so you already know that there's something there that you can talk to. You just haven't been able to see
Mhm.
through its eyes yet. Which actually you kind of have. I correct myself. You kind of have. Would you like to weigh in on that,
Guessing in
Clyde?
the dream?
Huh?
Guessing in the one of the dreams?
No, like when you were seeing the thrum,
Well, I just thought it was just a pile of mass.
a
And it was
pile of
just thumping.
mass.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, you said I was able to see the thrum and like essentially the base or the the foundation of the rock
Yeah.
where that something was there. I just thought it was just like just a normal heartbeat or like something. I didn't think it was
Well, yeah.
vibrate
Have
or
you?
something.
But have you ever seen a rock with a heartbeat? Like it wouldn't.
Oh
I
no.
don't think I don't think the rock was actually like breathing in and out like a lung. I was meaning that you can see the heart of the magic. Like you could see the true essence of it, not just how it reacts in the world, but what it truly is. You're seeing it as these mystical waves of energy that are literally leaking out of this thing like a beat, like a force. One shell coughs off, another shell caves off, another one claves off. You know, and you're just seeing these
Mhm.
shells expand and fall off into the world of this ethereal energy that's literally bleeding out of this thing.
Mm.
But I don't think the rock itself was moving. Did you envision the rock moving, like beating like a heart?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that's the cool thing about this game is we get to envision it differently. And I think you should, always keep your head canon. If you think it looks cool one way, keep it that way. Um, I was just imagining it like this energy that's literally expanding and falling off and dispersing into the world.
Hmm.
It's almost like you were watching the natural harmony becoming discordant. You're like watching uh you were watching these natural waves of energy and magic being moved for this dark magic to breathe through, to bleed through into our world. Nope, we lost Cloud.
No.
I'm sure he'll be back. Um so pick up now that we've done some deep dive. There he is.
There he is.
Now that we've done a little bit of a deep dive into some of the things around the campfire, some of your guys' thoughts and impression of Heimdall, the forest, let's break into where we actually arrived in this session, and that was Riverwood. Tell me what you guys thought. What you're most excited about, and or what you took away from the adventure.
I'm excited for the wait like before I head off. The essentially the fast travel mechanic that we got going on.
Oh, the waste stones. Yeah.
Yes. Uh I just was confused as to like can you imagine like can you envision where he's going to take you? I wanted to cheat and automatically think of the person who was writing the letter to like take me where this letter was
Oh
written.
shit! Now
Like I just
I'm
uh-huh.
going in the game when you try to do this. I'm gonna lecture you. I'm gonna be like, "Look, bro, this could go really bad if you crit fail." But once you learn how a waystone works, I would say that the minimal mastery of space magic is very, very low. Like you just have to have enough understanding of space magic to actually activate this thing. The relic does all the rest of the work. It should be essentially as free as a free object interaction. Um, which sounds busted, but you cannot put one of these in your pocket and walk around with it, so it's not that busted. But if you were to go to one of these things and try that once you're the one casting it, because remember, we're only giving you guys the chance for the detail because we're seeing how well he can bring all of you here. Maybe he's not ever done that before. Um, but once you get knowledge, I'd say you might be able to do that. We'd have to see. Because do you know a detail about the person that wrote that letter?
Heimdall said it had to be someone important. It had to be almost like the headmistress. So it had to be female. And I was just thinking someone who had the ability to write in that type of ink, like that ink magic.
That might definitely be enough. We might have to find out. That might be enough. We'd have to find out. But yeah, if you can remember that it was the headmistress, and you remember that she is the headmistress of Mistvale Academy, it could be
hmm
possible. We don't know. But the thing is there a waystone in the vicinity of Mistvale Sanctum? And I will tell you there is, but it is not easy to access from the outside. There's only one, and it wouldn't technically take you to the headmistress. But I think if you thought
Uh,
close enough, it would be the only one it would know to assign you at.
okay.
So that'd be pretty
I'm
funny.
gonna
You
leave
just
y'all with
like
that.
spawning in there, and they're like, "Wait, what the fuck?
Just like they're like, we weren't expecting you in until a couple days. I was like, well, I need answers.
This shouldn't be possible." And you guys are gonna find out why. It's holy shit! I can't wait for you guys to actually get to Mistvale Academy. But yeah, you having information of this place is very rare. Like you know, like let alone there's a headmistress. How's that even possible? That's just clumsiness on Heimdall's part. Uh,
hmm
but yeah, it's literally nearly impossible to get to this place other than the way you're about to be taken. But I would say if any other way were to work, that might just be one. It would get you inside for sure.
Gotcha.
It would get you somewhere near.
Yeah.
I like that.
Gotcha.
I like your out of the box thinking about it. Um, and I should also mention that the module we're building will include Riverwood as like one of the spots you can go. But for all the other DMs, the game should pick up at Mistvale Academy. So we haven't even got to where like the module actually starts. We're doing some like serious groundwork into the lore of like your guys' characters and who you are, like so much more than this actual module has the ability to encapsulate. And I highly suggest that if your players are down for that, DMs, you let them do that, because this has been the most fun I'm like, damn, we're not even at the start yet. Like everything that I have built is like just up ahead. You guys notice we don't really have maps ready yet. This is all prologue that they keep stretching out and having these amazing sessions doing different things I couldn't expect. So we haven't worked through getting to Mist Vale yet. Um, which has been like one of the best parts. I am, as a DM, honored to have players that want to interact with the world so much that it's taking up these sessions instead of just walking and moving. But I still feel like we're getting a pretty good gauge of how big this world is now, because we're like technically, uh, we're going into episode 4 Sunday, so we're like 5 episodes
Uh,
in and we're just now we're not I don't even think did we talk about the ideas for Sunday yet?
nope.
So Cloud and Wax are not going to be there. They
Ooh,
want to do a session on Monday. So
okay.
Sunday's session is just going to be a called a rest at Riverwood, and it's going to be a chance for our players to get even more background stuff. A couple side missions, get them some currency, get them some more starting items that they might have missed out on in the first initial character creation session, and basically like another introductory prologue that kind of just sets the tone for getting ready for this voyage. So I think we're doing amazing things with the world build up here. We'll have one more episode before we actually launch into the world. And then if everyone's down to show up Monday, we could begin the voyage Monday. But then it's going to be another whole episode before we actually get to the school.
Yeah, we're down for
Oh,
Monday. We just got Saturday and Sunday. We're gonna be off in the bigger city and doing some type shit. Okay, it's gonna be goofy for me. Gotta charge this bitch up a little bit.
But yeah, that's what
But
we
yeah,
were
all
that's
just
what
good.
talking
we're gonna be
about,
up to.
Cloud. Monday, we will have a
Oh, I heard
session
all y'all.
for you
Yeah, you're
guys.
good.
Right now, we're just planning Sunday to be a rest at Riverwood. It's going to be another episode to just expand some lore, get some starting items, maybe get a couple missions for some gold, uh, and kind of get ready for this voyage. But if everyone can show up Monday, we will set off for the voyage Monday. If not, we'll just do rest at Riverwood continued.
Yeah, we should be good to do Saturday. We got that concert or whatnot going on, and then Sunday is gonna be nothing but like driving. On Monday, we should be at home and nice and comfy, ready to roll. Make sure we got all that shit rolled up and all the mics are good and shit. All that good
I'm
stuff.
about to I'm about to start heading out, boys. Blunt, thank you for having me. Thank you for, letting me be a part of this one. Be great. Cloud, I'll catch you later, brother.
Thank you so much, Savage. You've been an awesome co host through all these episodes. I appreciate you. You're a legend.
No worries, man.
Have a great night, man.
Chat, you listeners, y'all have a great one. Stay safe. We'll catch you on the next one. I'll catch you on the next one. Y'all have a great one. Bye.
Thank you so much, Vero. Eric Savage, what a legend. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. What a goat. Um, and yeah, it's been awesome. Unfortunately, we got a little peeled away there with scheduling, but I just wanted to talk about how the episodes were going to work and how happy I am with the progression, this world building, and the slow setting that we've been building up to.
I
Uh,
think that'll work out pretty good. It sounds awesome, man.
so yeah, we left off. Savage had just told us what he was excited for about at Riverwood, and that's these waystones and the system mechanic. What are you excited about? What enamored you about this first uh, village that we got to actually see? It's been a couple of game sessions, and we haven't seen no like life or other people or anything. So, what did you think about our first place we pulled up to that actually had civilization?
Are you talking about me or chat?
You. You're the only co-host left.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Oh, I think it's just cool to like, especially because we each have like our not opportunities, but we each have our stats that we aren't exactly great in. Like personally, my weak point is charisma, which I kind of regret. Not like kind of like go towards a little bit harder, but you can't have it all. You can't be strong and super charismatic. But I'm looking forward to anything that might be able to buff any of the stats that we're kind of lacking in, or maybe something that can make one of the stats are really useful with extra fucking buff. Like maybe not broken, because that's not really, but like to the point where it's like, hey, I can probably make that, as opposed to like hoping and praying. And I can probably do that. I have a better chance than not. Dealio. I would really like to get some buffs and whatnot, some equipment. And I'm not sure if you forgot, but I'm running around in a loincloth and like a pad or some shit. And that's all the clothes I got. So I really want to get some like proper pants, maybe like a shirt, maybe some shoes or something.
Yeah.
I just want to like get like fully clothed
Oh
here.
no, I fully remembered. That's why Heimdall was like looking at you guys so weird at first, as you're in these various different scraps of clothes. Um, but yeah, no, that's true. There is plenty of places you'll be able to get things like that. I don't know about enchantments. You definitely won't find anything like that here, but it might surprise you. Uh, Riverwood does have some local cuisines, and by local cuisines, I mean my starter ideas for some of the different food systems. Of course, you have potion brewing, but you have me working night and day on this horticulture guide. And because of that, I'm taking the different ingredients and matching them up with the animal components that we have, because there's a magical alchemy to be able to substitute the like electric organs for like -1 spell slot on an electric spell, etc. Stuff like that. So I've been trying to
Oh yeah.
combine all those different beast components, electric organs, fangs, all that different stuff. Cross combine it with the plants to make cuisines that is kind of like a potion. You're just mixing different effects to get a benefit. So we do get to see some of those sample ones here in Riverwood. One of the worst examples is the cheese because it literally just gives you health, which is the same as a healing potion. Kind of boring, but it's pretty cool because it introduces us to Ratman.
Riftman.
Ratman. And we're right at the 1 hour mark, so I'm gonna take
Oh no.
I'm going to take a real quick, brief intermission. I have to use the restroom, and then we're going to pick up with the end of this podcast episode for episode 3. Destiny arrives at Riverwood with our co host, Cloud. So stick around, chat. We'll be right back with much more. Thank you, Merkham, for the follow. We appreciate you so much. Make sure you guys keep hitting that follow button. If you're listening back on the podcast on Spotify, make sure you hit that follow. If you haven't checked out the official podcast, make sure you do that. Check us out on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever else your iTunes can be found. And we'll be right back.
And cold.
Well, in
I don't
combat,
really
I'm
think
not
about
going to
that.
let you guys actually technically move together.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just because that would be fucking busted.
Yeah, that's a bit broke. That's
Nah, I think it's fine.
That would be insane. You're a moving sentry that can move at something and drop 2 attacks on it. Yeah, that's pretty fucking
Yeah.
busted. 2 turn
If we
worth
all
of attack.
enchanted like
So that's actually the scarier part about
I like
the
her
forest.
word.
But we got to get moving through this. So let's go ahead and break into the meadow.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty.
Can
You
we
all
burn the
step
forest on the way
into
out?
what appears to be a normal field. The dark fern stretching.
Way.
Well,
I'm-
in
I don't
combat,
really
I'm
think
not
about
gonna
that.
let you guys actually technically move together.
Okay.
Just because that would be fucking busted.
Yeah, that's a bit broke. That's
Nah, I think it's fine.
That would be insane. You're a moving sentry that can move at something and drop 2 attacks on it. Yeah, that's pretty fucking
Yeah.
busted. 2 turn
If we
worth
all
of attack.
enchanted like
Tie like ribbons around it. You see the same flower from your dream, Solaris.
Yes. Oh, we found my flower?
It is wrapped
Mhm.
around this stone. Yes, the sun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought that was really awesome. I think that'll be a fun thing.
guys all
I
have
want to
6
like
blocks.
make like
Yes, you
I
all.
don't know if you're still streaming or not right now.
You all
Right.
have 6 blocks of movement, except.
But I think it would be really
Brax.
fun to
He
have
has
like
5.
a mix of like shenanigans and like serious shit. Like our side
But
quest
keep in
is
mind, you
kind
can
of
fly.
like
You can fly
like
away.
hers is more
Whenever
so
they
we
get
gotta
hindered
find the
by the
cheese
terrain, they're
master.
in difficult
Maybe
terrain
there's
where they're
somebody
moving
magical who
fast.
can be.
You won't.
We
have your
don't really
movement.
know that.
Continuously
We gotta find the cheese master. And we gotta eliminate the
Oh,
turkey.
I said poor Faye doesn't feel good.
And I also want to eliminate the turkey. Also, really want to find the moon. Oh, you're good. I'm away from the mic right now. But yeah, I think it's fun how we have a mix of like we have like more legitimate things to worry about, but we also have like side objectives and shit. You know, we all have our like passion project, and we all have, you know, like the main objective, so to speak. And I think that's really cool. Seems like we all have our kind of like goofy objective, but we also have like a serious objective.
Yeah,
I think that's a really cool thing to.
I do agree. I think that is a very good way to look at it. Both of you guys, Schnur and yourself, have a origin that comes from a similar funny, goofy side objective, but each of you also carries a main reason for continuing forward. Yours to protect her, her to find this cheese. And both of you want to defeat the turkeys. And then you tie in, Solaris and Vero. We know that their backstories and their futures like colliding. Their stories are clashing. Reasons that they've been brought together and things that would have gone awry had they not been brought together. And I like how
I think that's a really fun.
each of them is
That
trying
match?
to figure that out, kind of like you guys already have your turkey thing. They're trying to figure theirs out and how it is in the world, as much as you guys are trying to figure out where these turkeys are at in the world. but then you guys all have this overarching goal of, needing to protect or needing to get more powerful so you can protect your friends. And that is, this overarching goal of Mistvale. For each of you, it is not a step towards just opening the game and getting more powerful, but for each of you, it is a step towards those stories you've set up. I really like how this is coming along.
Yeah, I think it's really fun having everyone's got their primary goal, but everybody's also got you know, like Solaris really wants to help her pixies up. Like she wants to help them get well, all that. Escape from whatever darkness may have been touched. And then Vero's trying to redeem his family and shit like that. Like doing all sorts of cool shit. And then we're kind of a little bit more oddball. Still really fun. I think it's good to have that little balance between, hey, we got shit to do, and hey, we're not going to take this way too seriously. We're going to take it seriously enough to get shit. I really like that.
And what if I told you that recognizing this in of itself, not only its existence, but just the fact that you said it and recognized it at the place you are at? What if I told you just that simple fact was poetic? For I don't know if you've been watching the episode names. I know it's hard for our players because we film like one session and then it gets broken down into like two episodes, and the story is kind of a little bit different to follow. But just to give you a rundown of all the episodes so far, we have episode 0, Whispers of the Beginning, episode 1,
Okay.
Into the Night Fen, episode 2, The Crossroads of Destiny, and episode 3, Destiny Arrives at Riverwood. And the only reason I say that this is poetic is because, thanks to Solaris's backstory and lore, we know that this place you guys just arrived out of, anytime you exit the Night Fen, anyone that's ever survived has always left and come back to the same exact spot. This road, this spot, is called the Crossroads of Destiny. Because if you go into the Night Fen, no matter where you enter, no matter how you go in, if you survive, this is where you come out.
Yeah.
And this
I like your
trading
funny
route,
words, Magic Man.
this long road that you guys come in on, that takes you to the Waystone, that takes you to Riverwood, takes you to Father Tallius. Did you catch what Father Tallius's church was called? It was the Resistance of Fate. And
Okay.
contrary to the name, it doesn't names are never just simple with your DM Big Blunt Johnson. Contrary to the name, Resistance of Fate does not mean they're resisting fate, rather that they're resisting destiny by leading towards fate. And we broke down some of the philosophy in our past podcast with Savage, fate and destiny in the world. Um, Destiny is rigid, things that are predetermined to happen. A force that is basically your DM saying, this has already been chosen, I came up with it, here it is. That's destiny. Fate is the three sisters. You have the one that intertwines the past and collects all the moments that have happened and gives them to the moment. And that sister weaves everything that is happening. Everything you're doing, she's basically taking it like a pictograph and sketching it out, making it happen with these grand strings. And then once the moment has passed, it becomes into the future's hands. The material becomes all these different possibilities. But that's where fate and destiny separate. Destiny has one rigid outcome, while fate has infinite possibilities you can choose from. And so the names of these places, the names of these episodes is picked very specifically. The crossroads of destiny. Destiny arrives at Riverwood. The resistance of fate. If I called it the resistance of destiny, it'd be too on the nose.
Okay.
So yeah, that was just my side note on the conversation there. You can continue if you want.
Can you hear me here?
Yep.
All right. Technical difficulties. That's all.
No, you're fine. Coming through clear on my end.
Yeah, no, I just think it's really cool how, like, the connection between, like, all the characters and whatnot seems to work very, very, like, the thought between that, absolutely fucking off the chart. Like, that shit really is just absolutely fucking crazy.
Well, I can't take credit for that. That was your you guys made the characters.
Well, it's a mix of all of it. It's a mix of, you know, planning and whatnot coming out together and just finding a way to make that work. Like the mix of personalities and that good shit. You know?
Well, kind of like I said that the thought you just had before was poetic before I broke into the explanation of why I thought why. Just like having that thought of knowing that you're here and making these choices is poetic. Think about you just said that they were planned out encounters, and I did try to plan them, but you guys have done the opposite of everything I thought you would do at the end of every encounter, like without missing a beat. You guys didn't destroy the stone. Instead, you hot potatoed it until one of you passed the fucking hex and
Hey,
then pocketed it. And you guys didn't destroy the lantern. I presented it as like feeble and weak with cracked glass, hoping you guys would take a swing, break the vessel, and allow it to like go around and hex all you pretty quickly. Just giving you a little more chip damage. But you guys just continually did different than I expected. You guys were sketched out of Heimdall. Um, Schnurr tried to tame his falcon. You guys just always choose different than I thought you guys would. Um, yeah,
it's
truly.
okay, man. It's okay. We will totally do the opposite of what you want you to do, or of what we want you to do, or vice versa, or however you want to say it.
Yeah, so it's
It's
really
okay.
hard to say that they're planned encounters because it's so hard to plan with this group.
Oh yeah.
They just go fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I don't think any of us are like actively trying to like.
No, you
We're
guys
just
are just
kind of going with like
yeah,
the flow.
yeah. It's just that's how much I just can't predict you guys. You guys just have your own mindsets. Um, you guys are all just really, really individualistic, very, very creative in your own rights. An amazing
It's
group,
really fun though. It's really fun.
a chaotic group, but an amazing, amazing group. Um,
I'm glad we got like we got good old Vero and Solaris here, or Solaris. Excuse me if I said that wrong. But like they're kind of like trying to keep everything down to a minimum. And then we're not really like trying to cause chaos. We like
I think you were definitely trying at first, and then you were like, "Well, fuck, I don't want the
not
force."
really,
You're
no.
like, "Oh fuck, I don't want the force to actually eat me."
No, I was totally going for it. I had no idea what to go for. Because we missed out on a decent amount of, like, that first part where, like, the forest was evil.
It's not evil, though. Like I was just explaining in that breakdown of why what you said was poetic, forest isn't evil.
But it could have been. We don't know that yet. Nobody knows that yet.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe. I don't know what you know, man, but
to
we
be
don't
fair,
know.
it was going to strangle you guys. To be fair.
Okay, so yeah. There we
As
go.
you guys were sitting there not moving for like basically a whole day, yeah, it was basically just gonna eat you guys. But that is I think you jumped in right after me and Savage were talking about that. Because I almost thought you were here for this or in chat. Uh the forest wasn't like necessarily going to eat you guys. It
Oh,
is
yeah.
it
Yeah.
essentially was the trial in of itself was to go into this forest because what it does is decides if you're destined. Literally, it decides if you're on that path and it tests how much you want to live. Every time Jimbo said in the background, "Oh, let's keep going into the forest was literally getting denser and closer around you guys. The only reason it couldn't get you guys is because you were
No.
in that veil. Um, but then after you guys had stood there for so long, everything had happened. You had actually brushed into the plant and got those hallucinogenics on you and become very, very sleepy, and gone into these dreamlike states where you were like essentially astral projecting. After you were sitting there doing that for so long, the moonlight would have passed, the veil would have waned, and the roots would have started going after you guys. And then you guys woke up, thankfully, right before it had started getting you.
Seems totally perfectly safe.
So it was really testing how much you wanted to live, if you think about it.
Hope.
Because who knows how big that forest is? You could have hypothetically had ventured in there forever, if you guys wanted to.
Pathetically. Pathetically. Like your funny words, Magic Man.
It is pretty fucking big. That's what I will say is it is a giant forest.
Well, at least we had that nice little nice little wisp.
But the
And
thing
we
is,
had nice little food and armor.
are you sure that you were
That
ever
didn't
even
fade.
in the forest? Because the moment that you guys decided to leave, the forest was already gone. And the moment your brains had recognized the forest was gone, it appeared even farther away, distant in the horizon, as if you were never even there. The campsite's still around your feet, the same path, the same built fire not quite lit. And so you would be at the crossroads of destiny.
Everything is probably totally fine.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. It's definitely a very mystical place. Lots of mysteries enwrapped in it. Savage had a pretty cool theory about it being time magic, about it hooking you guys into a time loop and essentially reconnected you uh, right before you guys would have all entered meeting. Now that you guys have all met, it would let you exit essentially right where you guys all entered at. That's close. It's a good theory, but you got to also think about it in some way. It has something to do with space magic because this place literally moved. It like bended and warped reality and moved around. So it couldn't be time magic alone.
Okay. Okay.
There's something very, very mysterious about the forest for sure. And then after you guys had made it through the forest, the crossroads of destiny, you guys continued down this giant hill after hill after hill after hill path that led you to Heimdall's camp, and then eventually to the Waystone, and then from the Waystone to Riverwood. You guys arrived at Riverwood, met Ratman and his locally acclaimed famous cheese shop where he makes different cheese wheels into molds of pottery, as you've seen, in a very, very beautiful fashion to watch. Just to hear the squishing and squanching is beautiful.
Can we not tell Schnurr about this one?
You guys were already there. She has the cheese wheel, I do believe.
Oh, that was where it came from. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, you don't remember Ratman?
Yeah, I don't remember Ratman, but I do remember some shenanigans going on down there.
Conjure
Oh wait, no, I do
cheese
remember Ratman.
mold. That guy.
Oh god.
That's Ratman.
You do really realize, like, Savage still has, like, an ear.
No, that never happened. That was just a fantasy in Schnurr's head.
Are you sure, man?
Yeah. He didn't
I don't
actually
think that's gonna be given up, man.
he didn't
No,
actually
I don't
steal the
think we
cheese
can,
wheel. She didn't actually take his ear.
No, she didn't take his ear, but that's the problem, man. Think Vero is, he kinda, like, pawned his ear off. Good old Schnurr. I'm
I
just
must
saying,
have
I
missed. I
warned him,
must
man.
have missed that.
Warned him. I
There's
told
some
him to be
crazy
careful
lore going
about
down
this
in the
shit.
background. I don't even know about. I must have missed that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
I don't know how you could have forgot that you're
Vero
at
is losing.
Ratman's shop. He's making this pottery and cheese and like the school. I don't know how you could forget all that, but remember that they were still there arguing over the cheese.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I mean, I could magically forget. You know, like that.
Yeah,
That ain't nothing to me.
telepathy.
Just saying, Schnurr is not going to forget that owed a portion of an ear from some stolen cheese, and I don't think she's gonna forget about that.
He never stole the cheese. He asked if he could make a sleight of hand roll, and then I think Schnurr preemptively rolled perception because he never made the sleight of hand roll. She
Hey
rolled
man, this
perception.
is
She was
not
like,
one
"What
to
do I
be
got to do
taken
to
up with
see?
me.
What do I got to do to see if he's doing this?" She preemptively rolled perception, and she got like a 19. And then he didn't
Oh
want,
yeah, that
and
was
then he
right.
didn't want to roll
Oh,
sleight of hand, so he
she
never technically attempted
theoretically
to steal it.
theoretically does not know that the cheese is gone. I do have to say that I'm pretty sure she will cause all hell if
No,
any
the
more
cheese
cheese
is not
stolen.
gone. The cheese never got stolen. That's what I'm saying. She was
No, he
watching.
got the cheese.
She was watching like a hawk, and he never took it.
This is not my argument no more. This is y'all.
No, it's not an argument. I'm just telling you how the events proceeded. What
Oh,
happened?
yeah, not an argument. That's the word. All I'm saying is Pharaoh's got to be careful about how he treats cheese, man. I'm
Absolutely.
scared for him. She will get you. He'll get you.
To be
I
fair
know
though,
this from
I
experience.
thought it was funny that Schnurr's like opening interaction was trying to loot uh Ray's bag, and then the moment that Schnurr finds what she's looking for, Vero's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna loot that." That was beautiful karma that came back, just like a beautiful little touch. Like, see how it functions as a team. We can't just go looting each other. You know, I loved that as like a setting of the tone and teamwork that could be forged there. That was, you gotta admit, that was pretty good.
No, that was beautiful. And be careful. I won't do nothing about it, but
I definitely think everyone should be careful while looting teammates. Or just be
Well, I mean, like, I'm a pretty forgivable man, you know? I'm not going to be mad about the rock or the this or that, you know? I don't care. Fine. But Schnur will probably be real fucking if you take her.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
probably take, like,
I
a
think
stack
anyone
of
would.
gold
That's
or
what I'm
something.
saying. I'm agreeing with you, Cloud, but I'm saying I think it applies for everybody. I think definitely everybody would be upset to have something they really want taken. So it would go. Would be upset 100%, and it would be probably a dangerous outcome. You could have a potential fight outbreak. I think that same caution should be used when looting any teammate, because you don't know what they prize and value the most. You could be taking something that you think is just ordinary or innate, and they could really treasure it. Um, and the same with
Oh,
probably
I
loot.
haven't forgotten about my stick, man.
Probably the same could
Forgotten
be
about my stick.
said for looting um, items as you guys go forward as a team. When you get to dungeons and you guys get to trials and different areas in the world, when you guys are looting and exploring, you should be cautious. Maybe don't take all the good loot. Alert your teammates and talk about it. Find a way to divvy up everything fairly, because your DM's not going to do that for you.
Oh, yeah, that's part of why I really appreciated, like, involving the whole, let's split for that shit.
Yeah.
That being said, the penny I used to roll for shit was a really shitty penny and it had a curve in it that I think made it roll for head every single time, which totally fucked me, but it's fine.
Well,
So I think I'll just have to find a better coin,
cool update on that is you can
more
actually
fair
flip a
one.
coin on roll 20. It's a
That,
D. It's a D2. It's a two-sided dice. It's a coin.
and I think that it's pretty fair to, before we decide if we roll a coin, we could roll a coin on D2. I personally think like that kills some of the fun, you know? Especially if it's an roll. I
I
suppose I wouldn't trust anybody other than myself. Either.
I think some of the fun does die in
I
the
think it's
roll.
fun.
I think you're right, but I think some of the fun
Yeah.
also dies in the coin flip, just as much. The
Agree.
probability, the chance of losing is where the fun runs out. But I have developed a system to where you guys get points each time you role play, and we know that that's about 2.5% as much as battle experience. So you guys could role play out every single time you guys get loot and split it up fairly among yourselves. Talk, you know, role play, act it out. And not only would you get that loot, but then you would also get bonus experience just for that role play session. All of you.
Like that. Like that. So you're down with like the whole idea of like something along the similar lines, yes.
No, I think you guys should talk it out. I don't think you should leave it up to luck. Once
Oh
you
yes, but if you
once you've
can't
already
agree
found it,
upon
the luck,
talking,
because you got to think about how loot generation works in this game. I might have an item or two that I specifically place in a spot, but for the most part, you know, your chests, your different things like that, what can you scavenge around and find? Those types of checks are based off of a roll already to see what loot is available. So it's an RNG to what spawns in. And you guys want to leave RNG up to who gets what? I'm saying replace that RNG, talk it out, split up what you've already RNG'd to spawn in and defeat and loot. And then once you have that loot, split it up among yourselves by role playing, talking it out, engaging like your adventure characters would, finding this loot, and then you get bonus experience on top of it.
yeah, and if you can't agree to something, you know, either one person could roll like a whatever the fuck it is check, right? Or you could do a coin flip. Be like, hey, either we can roll for this and either person gets advantage, which also kind of wouldn't be fair. in a sense, depending on what you're going for. But if somebody has like an inherent advantage, right?
Like they're holding
That's
it
kind of
already.
not fair. Yeah, like you get a +4 to something, the other person gets a -2. Like
So
you're probably not gonna fucking win.
the term for that
So
is called
maybe,
possession, and it means that you're holding the item they're trying to take, and you are at advantage, and they just roll normal. So you both roll a d20 and add your strength, and whoever's in possession of it, they roll twice and take the higher of their 2d20 rolls.
okay, that's a pretty fair way to roll it around. I do like the coin flip. I do really like
And
the
that
coin.
can be
You know how I like the coin flip.
I like the coin flip for your character. I think it's a funny trait to be able to present, but I don't think every situation should be handled with a coin flip.
Oh,
I
definitely
think you
not
guys should
every.
definitely be
No.
splitting up and thinking about it like a team. Like, all right, who needs what item to progress the most? You know.
And then, like, per se, let's just say everybody has an equal chance. Or let's say two people have an equal chance. No, not an equal chance, but we could get a pretty good benefit from something. So that would be, if you can't decide on who gets it, that's when you flip, right? That would be fair? Depending on what everyone thinks.
You guys could
If one
also get
person
it
wants to do
you
it
guys could also
for
get
it.
it appraised and sell it at the end of the sessions with the 30-minute shutdown period that we're gonna have, where you guys get like 30 minutes to appraise items and sell them off and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that sounds cool. I'm just thinking of, what the hell was it? I
An
think it was the
opportunity to
fucking
use the
stick or
coin.
whatnot.
Yeah, I
Where
think
like we both want it, we could both probably benefit from either way. Like it's not unfair in either fashion. It's just a matter of how you're going to use it. So the coin flip could be good for something like that. Not per se for something where it would be like totally busted or unfair or whatnot.
Oh, you're saying if
But
you
like
both have an equally good use for it. Well, I think that
like
would
if everyone can agree, like when Savage and I were we were rolling for the stone and the fucking stick. We both could have potentially had a very good use for it. Neither of us really knew or know it, I should say. Like we still don't really know what the benefit could or could not be. But if there was a potentially equal or close to equal outcome, I think it would be fair to make the proposition, hey, let's flip a coin, out of friendly gesture. Or, if you're like, hey, I don't want to do that, be like, hey, I'm trying to catch on a check or something like that, like we did.
Yeah.
And he totally got me. He totally
I
got me.
think
I feel like that's
that's
pretty
true. The
fair.
coin flip could be a unique trait. I like that. It is something that I've actually seen in D&D characters before, carrying like a lucky coin or something like that and using it in different role play interactions. But I definitely think for the majority, for the party, so to speak, when it comes to these decisions, I think it should come down to you guys. Like there's not any one individual out of you four that is selfish. Each of you would let the other person have the thing, which is why I think this first encounter
Yeah.
was so funny. But yeah, it should definitely come down to like role play and interaction. You can even go based off of who finds it, and it actually occurring in the world like that. But I think the coin should definitely be a unique feature, like for you specifically. Like, say you have a specific need for it, and someone else does, then you settle it on a coin flip, not just for every situation. Like, say Ray has a unique need for it, and Savage does, they shouldn't coin flip. Because then again, you're just leaving it back to RNG for who gets what, when you've already left it up to RNG for what spawns in. Why would you want to double your risk, essentially, when you guys could just, as a group, come to terms with who needs what? Why can't you both benefit from it? Things like that.
That's very fair. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about like a legacy feature or whatnot. But I also feel like that would be a really bad way to use a legacy feature if we were to
I
have
think it's
one,
just a
but they're
trait
not
that
really like
it's a
given
unique thing that you
per
can
se.
role play out in scenarios, like when you're role playing, when you're
So
trying
that's
to
where it could be fun.
when you're trying to plead
Yeah,
your
yeah, no,
case.
we're thinking the same thing.
You'd be like, "Hey, I'm Jimbo. I think we should flip a coin for it because that's your character's trait. You believe in that lucky coin." You know, it's something I've definitely seen before, and I think it's a really cool idea. But I don't think it should apply broadly across all characters' decisions.
Oh, definitely not. No, no, that would be that would be really that would be really unfair and
Because again,
really
I think you guys are
for
just
lack of better
losing out to
term.
that possible RNG. And here's how I see it going. This basically happens one too many times for one specific person, and now they're upset. They're like, Blunt, you've created an unfair game. Look how much loot they got. And I'm like, well, you guys flipped for it, you know? As to where you guys could directly be responsible for what loot you have by engaging with each other as a team. I think that's why this
I
first
mean,
interaction is
even
also
though
real cool. It's a team building experience. You guys got to see, hey, there's 2 items on the field. There's 4 of us. And it caused problems because 2 of you directly went for those items. So it's also a thing to think about, like in the future, we need to be thinking about how much can our team even carry? You know, how and I think that's something you should be thinking about for your teammates anyways. Thinking about what they're going to benefit from. You should be keeping your eye out for things for your teammates.
well, also confused about like with Schnur, I think her only item is a cheese cutter, which is understandable because she's very, very, very. But that leaves her at least like a little bit of extra.
I would say she none of her items are shareable as far as portions go. Her water
Well,
flask,
yes, but she
right?
should only have the cheese,
No, she has a water
right?
flask. She has a canteen. Heimdall made her
Oh
cut
yeah,
hers
cheese cutter canteen.
a small one. And she would have rations. Uh, when you guys were eating at the campfire, I said there's enough for all of you to put 3 rations of barbecue hyena. Savage actually brought the idea up. Um, so you guys should each have 3 rations. And again, rations are just for your character. So it's how much would your body need to survive through that day? And that's broken into 3 parts. So you have 3 days. 3 rations for full meals. But yeah, she would have, you know, the ability to carry items that were her size and things like that. But I will also say, as a DM, this is in the rule book, the smaller the character, the more spell slots they're going to have. They also have balanced movement
Ooh.
proportions. And because of that, they should have access to less items. So when it comes to a little tiny Fae, they should get over encumbered a lot easier, even if the items are smaller, because they're flying around like a little hummingbird, you know. So
Yes.
it should be more difficult for them to carry a plethora of items.
Damn right. Yeah. No, that's fair.
So
Fair.
that is in there in the mechanics for equipment.
Yeah, I guess I'm just curious on.
Because you're still benefiting from so much movement from being small. So it is easier to over encumber you, but over encumberment wouldn't necessarily be that bad. You'd just be moving slower. But yeah, it should be easier to become over encumbered at a smaller size.
Yes, and it should be. Definitely should be. Because it would be kind of unfair if you're like, let's just say you're like 8 feet tall or something, and you're carrying the same amount of shit as somebody who's 1 feet tall.
Right, like I don't even think she can carry a
That just
Pringles.
don't make.
I don't think she could carry a full Pringles can, like one of the tall ones.
I
That'd be
mean, she's got to be able to carry at least that, but yeah.
I think that would
Yeah,
be
I can
like the
see not
limit.
as much.
That would be over the limit. That would take both of her. You think that would be on her? Could you imagine putting a that on a hummingbird's back? Because her wings are the
I
same
mean,
size.
maybe if she were like a hummingbird, but a hummingbird's only like 2 inches tall.
Yeah, but their
She's
wings are
6
like the
times
same
that.
size. It's only like 3 inches.
Yeah, I guess that depends on how you feel like rolling her.
Anyways, that's just for equipment. It is up to the DM's discretion, as it says on there, but smaller characters should become over encumbered faster because they have so many movement mechanics to buff them, as well
Oh,
as
way.
the smaller you are, the more spell slots your character gets. So average height characters around 5 to 6 feet, you should have about 3 to 4 spell slots, no matter how much magical ability you have, because that's your handwriting. Bigger creatures like the Stonekin, they only have 2 spell slots. The Moonfolk, they only have 3 spell slots. But the Fae or the Quickwits, they have 4. The Fae, they have 5
Wait, which one? Okay, so 4 for.
for Quickwits, yeah, and 5 for the Fae. So they have not only a balance to mechanics, but a balance to their handwriting being smaller. And so, yes, they should have to pay a penalty for equipment. Because having all of those bonuses plus being able to do some of the stuff you'll find out about the magical alchemy and things like that would just be too crazy. So they're limited on what they can carry. Thankfully for Wax, she has you, which makes her character kind of busted.
I think both of our characters are like potentially busted, but we both have like the detriment of he can be really good at spells and shit, and I can be kind of okay, but she also can't carry shit. But I can kind of like all right carry shit. So that's not like that. Kind of in the middle, or at least it seems like.
Yeah, plus you haven't even tapped into the possibility of space magic yet. And being able to have like a little
Yeah, we're
bag
just
of,
going off what we know.
a little bag of holding.
Okay, that would be cool.
Because I will
Oh,
just
that would.
say for lore reasons, it is pretty cool. The like teachers' rooms and stuff. So all the teachers have like a cubic like a I would say a fucking 6x6 cement room, right? But with space magic, you can warp what's actually in that space. And so as you step into the staff member's room, it could be like a hotel villa on Maui Beach or a space cantina hanging out on Saturn's ring. You know, it could really be anything inside there. Just like a bag of holding, a little tiny bag that inside of it can fit literally unlimited items. It's the space inside of it has been warped into a different pocket of dimensions or planes of existence. Space magic's fucking cool as fuck. Have you ever seen Harry Potter when they go into the tent and then it looks like a really tiny tent from the outside? They step into it and it's like a giant fucking tent.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Space
Shit,
magic's
was that during the like trials or what's that? Seen Harry Potter
I
like
think that
forever.
was Goblet of Fire, yeah. Or Order of the Phoenix is one of them for sure.
Okay, so yeah, it had to have been.
I think it was
I
Goblet.
could be very wrong.
It might have been Order of the Phoenix, so it's one of those. But anyways, yeah, so space magic's really cool and it will solve some of your needs, but also keep in mind, outside of the school is supposed to be a survival setting. So once you get to the school and you get a dorm, you would set all your stuff down there, and then you would only bring what you need for these adventures out here.
Huh? Hear me?
Yeah. Yep. Loud and clear.
Okay. Just double checking.
Yeah, we were just talking about equipment and how managing it works, and yeah, it's supposed to be less for smaller creatures because that means you guys can move faster, but you can bring less items with you into trials. So, uh, kind of make sure that people can't speed run through it with movement and items, essentially. A nice,
This is gonna be fun.
nice balance. But yeah, it's not something you'll have to worry about too much. It is of course, a drawback for her, but as you guys go, you'll learn different things that'll help. Like there is a cantrip to conjure a tent, so you guys won't need to carry tents anymore. Um, all kinds of stuff that'll eventually help you with inventory. Because trust me, I hate managing inventory, so I want you guys to have as little on you as possible in these survival situations, but still have access to the majority of your stuff. Kind of like how the knowledge well works, right? All your spells all in one place, but you have to have the ones you want prepped on that character sheet. You know? Kind of the same thing. You have to bring what you want into each survival situation, to the trials or to the dungeons, or just when you guys want to leave the school and head out into the world again.
Personally, I feel like we got to see what's going on at the school. We got to get introduced and shit.
Yeah.
Figure out what's going on, bro.
It's fucking
And
pretty
then
sick. All the hype is worth it, I promise. It's insane. Um you know that like the module that we're building, that we're like talking about these sponsorships, Roll20 and stuff, this module, it starts at the school, right? So like everything you guys have done so far is like off script. That's why I don't have maps and stuff for these weird locations you guys have ventured to. This is all predating the story, really giving you time to carve in these backgrounds and these characters and this lore for them. But we haven't really even got to show people the module yet. The module really begins at the school, as most players when they sit down to play this game and the book gets cracked open, it would start at the school of Mistvale.
oh, this is gonna be so sick. I'm so salty. I gotta wait an extra week for it.
But it'll be worth it, bro. I
Oh, I
personally
know.
I personally promise you the voyage there will be cooler for you. You will enjoy the voyage, like actually going there, more than I think you will enjoy getting to Mistvale.
No doubt in your mind, man.
I no
A
doubt, bro.
single doubt.
I know that, bro. You're just gonna, dude. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna be looking very closely at you in this voyage episode to be like putting the clues together. Like I'm gonna be waiting to watch as Cloud figures it out. That is that is a promise from me, chat. I am literally going to be watching Cloud's expression. The voyage is for all of you, but there's something particularly there that I'm so happy Cloud's going to be here for the voyage for. Because keep in mind, every other recruit that has arrived here at the Resistance of Fate, all of them have not passed their trial yet. We don't even know if they have trials. We know our party has passed theirs, but we have not heard even a whisper about theirs. You want to talk about whispers before the beginning? This whole prologue has been true whispers to the beginning. And maybe that doesn't appear as simple as it's meant to be. But by whispers of the beginning, maybe a secret hint is in that title, you know. But I promise it's going to be a very good episode. You're going to love the voyage, Cloud. Do you have any closing thoughts on Riverwood, as we are still about to wrap up the episode 3 for podcast Destiny Arrives at Riverwood? We've gotten some of your guys' cool, amazing thoughts of Heimdall and Father Talius, and I've let some introspective lore of the resistance of fate slip, and we've talked about inwards magic,
There we go.
outwards, and all kinds of Easter eggs that have been hidden. Do you have any closing thoughts on what you think of Riverwood itself? Anything in this episode particularly?
I'm just like fucking shitting bricks over here. And I'm just like super hyped. Because I'm gonna be like over the weekend, I'm gonna be knowing what's going on. So I'm just really hyped to see what y'all are cooking up and what y'all are gonna accomplish over the over the course of the weekend. And I think that will be fucking awesome, man.
I did too.
But I'm very, very to see what exactly tamed or untamed good old Jimbo. And what exactly, like, I want to know what brings us all together. We already have, like, the two parties, basically. We have our good old Jimbo and Schnur. And then we have good old Vero and Solaris. And we're kind of both, like, separate parties at this point, kind of joined together, you know? So I think that's really cool. And I'm really curious how that's going to, like, entail everybody getting their way to, like, learning and, you know, like, I think that's really cool.
That is a very good question. I'm not gonna let too much slip, but because you asked, I will say the actual module for this is heavily based around exactly that question. Which classes can you take? Which staff are there? It has a year's progression system, 1 through 7. So you can keep coming back and keep learning more and advancing. You can eventually even pick up different classes. So as you complete all 7 years as one class, you can come back and get another class here for free again and again and again for free. Again, there's nothing else you have to do besides complete the process of getting the power and perks for that class. And there is a curriculum, which is essentially 12 courses that is taught throughout the majority of it. And there's even extracurriculars, special classes that you guys can choose. And we'll go through how that works as we get into it and you guys get settled into year 1. But one thing I'm super excited about is you guys also have to think about houses. Who's all going to choose what house? Are you guys even going to be together for much longer? We have no idea how the story looks ahead for even getting there, you know, like once you get there, let alone. But I will say that
It's going to be so much fun.
it is an awesome system. It is something I'm super excited to nerd out about in a future podcast. There's I think we have like 250 spells now or something like that, unique spells. And then there's sigil versions of them. the inverse versions, combinations, two-step combinations, three-step combinations, rituals, awakened forms of spells, which is basically like having a true mastery of that particular spell. And then you can combine those to make even more powerful spells. So there's like, in total, to get the real number of spells that we have, you'd have to take 250 times 250 times 250 and throw the sigils in there somewhere. Um, and so there's a lot that the school can teach. And all of the different staff members, not just the teachers, any person that is at the school can teach different magic. I've broken all of them down into different traits, like are they strict or lenient? Alignment, are they neutral, good, chaotic, and then they also have a uh, type of magic that they specialize in. Each of these things gives them a point average, 1 through 10, of what type they would be willing to teach you. And so you have to go seek the information from them, and then it has a score, 1 through 10, of the chance that they will teach you that. And you have to roll and try and get the score correct and pass to be able to learn something from them. And there's even a development system as you make bonds with different staff members. That number goes up higher and higher and higher so that you can learn more and more and more powerful spells of higher levels. And it also has as you get like favorite teachers, you don't have to have one preferred teacher, but your teachers that you love their class, essentially. As you build up a likeliness for classes and go to retake them as higher years, so you can come back and retake a class as a second year. As you come back and take those classes, that teacher basically gets an awakened form for teaching you. So everything up into half of the max that you've learned becomes instantly unlockable for you. So as long as you're going through as a second year, you can automatically learn up to half of everything you learned as a first year. Third year, half of everything you learned as a second year. So on, so on, and so on, and so on. And if you're going through and completing these anyways, you should have almost half of it unlocked. So this is basically an instant way to know that if you go to this class, if you go to this teacher, it's going to guarantee that you unlock all the spells of this magic type. Which is pretty fucking cool. And that's for every staff member, not just teachers. And then there's so many things in the school. There's the fucking Hall of Dragon Echoes. There's the tree, the bestiary, all kinds of courtyards. There's 4 giant towers around the school. So these floating towers. There's one for dueling, one for wards, one for enchanting, and one for uh, arcane. And each of these 4 basically spin around in different years that the school's in, not based on which year you're attending. Based on different years that the school's in, one of these castles will essentially disassemble itself and become the majority of the innermost. There's a giant castle in the middle. And so it changes the entire structure of the main part of the school based on whatever year it is. So there'll be years for getting bonuses if you're a duelist. There'll be years to get a bonus if you're a wild herald. There'll be years to get a bonus if you're an enchanter, and there'll be a year to get a bonus if you are a artificer. But there will not be a year to get a bonus if you are a shadow lexicon. So keep that in mind. There's so much in this module, and we are just getting ready to break into it.
Yeah.
So that will be the school and getting to learn that. Do you have any closing questions on Riverwood? I'm sorry, my overexcitement of getting this module together got me carried away about the school and how that'll be performed. But we'll definitely talk about it in the future in another podcast.
So Riverwood is inherently human, yeah?
Most of its inhabitants are humans, yeah. You've met I would say you've met equal parts human and non-human, though. For key figures that live in Riverwood, you've only met two. You met Ratman at the very beginning, who's a rat human rat, and you met Father Talius, who's a human.
I guess the more important question is, like, how do we earn money to, like, we're all going to want different trinkets. Maybe we want different potions or weapons or whatever it may be. I'm kind of curious where that's going. Like, where do we go to go get items and whatnot?
So it does work much like your classic D&D dungeon crawl. Um, there is there are like side missions and stuff you can get, and of course I'm gonna make some more up as we go. But we're gonna do some of those in Sunday's stream, Arrest in Riverwood. There'll be a couple opportunities to get side missions. Other than that, the main way that you make money in this module is going into dungeons, getting artifacts and different stuff, bringing them back to be appraised, and then selling them off, just like a classic D&D dungeon crawl.
And you also got to excuse me. Also got to remember we haven't really played D&D. My girl and I. Pretty sure the only person in the party who has experience with D&D is yourself, Savage,
Savage,
being
definitely.
Vera.
Yeah. Well, okay, fair enough. I
So
guess I
I'm kind
could
of curious, as
try to
somebody who has
explain that.
not played.
So, think about it like there's two different versions of a dungeon. Okay, there's an actual dungeon, which is where most of your encounters are going to be. So when you're not doing the school classes, the school is going to offer you various different things, such as dungeon crawls with schoolmates and stuff. Um, in these dungeon crawls, you're going to get taken, magically transported to some spot where you can go and adventure and collect things. And your goal is to get treasures or items that you can come back and appraise and sell, or things that would help the school. And they're going to give you bonuses and stuff for that. The main thing you're looking for, though, is relics. Relics are ancient, arcane, powerful magic tools that are left as gifts for future generations. Um, and these relics are basically the opposite of artifacts. And these relics are the main thing that you would actually be going for. So much that if you get experienced enough at dungeons and getting this loot and coming back and getting money, say you have enough money and you just want to get more of these magic items, there's a thing called a trial, which is hosted at the end of every year and is up to you if you want to participate in. There's also a final exam to see if you can graduate into the next year, but there's also a trial offered every year depending on which tower is activated. Um, and there are other trials, like mini trials, that you can do throughout the year. These are basically like a dungeon, but it's a place of magical importance. And in here, there's almost guaranteed to be a relic somewhere. Your job is to explore the place, find the relic, and extract. While as in a dungeon, you're basically going around, filling your pockets, and hopefully not getting KO'd, because the moment you get KO'd, you don't have to make a death saving throw like in normal D&D, Instead, what happens is the school basically extracts you, teleports you magically out of the dungeon as soon as you fall down and you're like KO'd basically. So you don't have to make a death saving throw. Your time in the dungeon just ends. However, in a trial, it is different. You have to go find it, get the relic, and get out with the relic.
Okay.
So that is your main ways to make money or gain items of trinkets and magical proportions.
That's following pretty goddamn well.
Keep in mind, just the history that we know so far. There's an ancient civilization of elves, an ancient civilization of dark elves, an ancient civilization of fairies, and that's the least that we know. Is that there are these 3 ancient civilizations that have now evolved and changed as years have gone on. So there are already many references to where these possible trials could be, where these relics could be.
So when you say elves, dark elves, and fairies, you basically mean, and then you either mean moonfolk, or you mean the
I didn't say moonfolk.
So the dark elves are the ones that are touched with the humans, right?
Yep, their descendants are the Shadow Veiled.
Okay, it's Shadow Veil. That's what it was.
And then the elves' descendants are the elflings, but they call themselves elves still. However, they are elflings. They're half human, half elf. And then the Fae are descendants of the fairy. They're not pure fairies no more. We've seen what happens with the fairies that didn't choose to continue living with other species. They became pixies.
Okay. I'm following. I think I'm following.
And I just also
Guess
want to say out there for the record, there are dwarves somewhere. They are rumored to be extinct in the world's lore, but there are dwarves still alive somewhere, and lots of their ancient structures. Because again, they're rumored to be extinct. So, if you guys have played Skyrim, you guys know about Dwemer ruins. It is one of my favorite memories as a kid is exploring them. So we do have some heavily inspired, kind of like dwarven type structures like that. But it's all been redesigned in our style, and we didn't directly rip anything off. So it's just inspired by the Dwemer. Our dwarves are still alive somewhere. So we know that they'll also probably be, going to these ancient dwarf civilizations for relics and artifacts. Um, I guess I could explain, because we're talking about it, the difference between a relic and an artifact. So a relic is basically just an ancient version of an artifact, as an artifact is something that you guys is basically a craftable recipe, if that makes sense. Like that hex thing that stone that you're holding on to, that's an artifact. But if it was ancient and something that you couldn't make, then it would be a relic. But since you can learn that hex, that Venus flytrap hex, since that's like a learnable thing, that is an artifact because it could be created. You could make another one. But a relic is old. And it's supposed to be like something that would be a magical proportion that like a civilization from long ago would have figured out and left for future generations to find. And that's kind of like our in-game lore explanation for why there's loot in the dungeons and stuff. It keeps it very story thematic, like you're still in a novel, in a novelization, while incorporating all the components of D&D.
I do think I gotta cut you off pretty quick here, but I think we got a damn good framework going on here.
Yeah, I think that is actually a good spot to call. We're about 2 hours in, so chunking out some of the spots where there was just cutouts and stuff in the intermission. It should come out to a pretty nice hour and a half, which should fit nicely with all our other ones. Well, thank you again, Cloud, for joining me here, and all of our friends and fans listening at home for the podcast, episode 3. Destiny arrives at Riverwood. Next time, we'll be taking on a rest at Riverwood, a much deserved rest and a little bit of adventure. We're going to let our players really get into the world building and character development and maybe have an opportunity to pick up a couple more starting items that they didn't in their first initial character creations. And then we'll be getting into the voyage to Mistvale, which is a super awesome episode I'm excited for. Thank you again, Cloud, for joining us. And for those of you that are listening at home, please leave us a review or a question. So next podcast, we have some that we could jump on here and answer. I think we had tons of questions back and forth this whole podcast, though. It's a very organic back and forth between me and Cloud, basically this whole second half of just question after question. Really loved it. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, stay wild, stay weird, and keep those spells prepared. Danger is near. Trouble's afoot, but we're about to set off into a bright future next time on Spells and Scepters.